Hidden in the Bay of Bengal is a place untouched by modern life. North Sentinel Island, a small, thickly forested island, is home to the Sentinelese people. They are one of the last tribes on Earth who haven't met other people. They choose to stay alone, protect their home fiercely, and are very mysterious. This island shows us a world unchanged by time. It shows how different human cultures can be and how strong people can be. North Sentinel Island is part of the Andaman Islands, a group of islands governed by India. This remote island is one of the most isolated places on Earth, and it has remained largely untouched by modern civilization. The Indian government has recognized the unique status of the island and has enforced strict regulations to protect its inhabitants and their way of life. The island is small, about the size of a small city, and surrounded by coral reefs. These reefs form a natural barrier, making it difficult for boats to approach the island. The treacherous waters and sharp coral formations have deterred many would-be visitors, preserving the island's isolation. These reefs make it really hard for boats to get close and almost impossible to land. The few who have attempted to navigate these waters often find themselves stranded or forced to turn back. The coral reefs are not just a physical barrier, but also a symbol of the island's resistance to outside influence. Being so isolated has helped the Sentinelese survive. Their isolation has shielded them from diseases and conflicts that have affected other indigenous populations. The dense forests and challenging terrain have acted as a fortress, protecting their community from external threats. It has let them keep their special way of life. The Sentinelese have maintained their traditional practices, customs and language, which have been passed down through generations. Their way of life is a living testament to human resilience and adaptability in the face of isolation. The inside of the island is just as hard to get into. The thick jungle canopy and dense undergrowth create a nearly impenetrable barrier. This natural fortress has kept the Sentinelese safe from intruders and has allowed them to thrive in their secluded environment. Thick rainforest covers almost all of it. The lush vegetation provides the Sentinelese with everything they need to survive, from food and water to materials for building shelters. The forest is not just their home, but also their lifeline, sustaining their way of life. This forest gives them food and also keeps people out. The Sentinelese are skilled foragers and hunters, relying on the rich biodiversity of the forest to meet their needs. The dense jungle also serves as a deterrent to outsiders, ensuring that the Sentinelese remain undisturbed. There aren't any good places for boats to stop, which makes it even harder to visit. The rocky shoreline and lack of natural harbours make landing on the island a daunting task. This geographical isolation has played a crucial role in preserving the Sentinelese way of life. Being so isolated, both because of where they live and because they want to be alone, has shaped the Sentinelese and how they interact with the outside world. They have made it clear that they wish to remain undisturbed, and their interactions with outsiders are often marked by hostility and caution. This desire for isolation has allowed them to preserve their unique culture and way of life, making North Sentinel Island one of the last places on Earth where a truly untouched indigenous community still exists. Scientists think the Sentinelese have lived on North Sentinel Island for thousands of years. This remote island, part of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal, has been their home for what could be tens of thousands of years. The dense jungle and the surrounding ocean have provided a natural barrier, keeping them isolated from the rest of the world. No one knows exactly where they came from. Their origins are shrouded in mystery, and their isolation has only added to the enigma. The Sentinelese have fiercely protected their land from outsiders, making it nearly impossible for researchers to study them closely. But studying their language and genes shows they are probably related to early humans who traveled from Africa. Genetic studies suggest that their ancestors were part of the first wave of human migration out of Africa, making their lineage one of the oldest in the world. This connection to ancient human history is a fascinating glimpse into our own past. They are considered Negrito people, and they look similar to other groups on the Andaman Islands. The term Negrito refers to various ethnic groups in Southeast Asia who share certain physical characteristics such as short stature and dark skin. These similarities hint at a shared ancestry and a long history of adaptation to their environment. Because they stay away from other people, it's impossible to know exactly how many Sentinelese there are. Their isolation is so complete that even aerial surveys have provided little information. The thick forest canopy hides their settlements, and their hostility towards outsiders ensures that no one gets close enough to count. Guesses range from a few dozen to a few hundred. Estimates vary widely, but most agree that the population is small. This small number makes their survival even more remarkable, as they have managed to sustain their community for millennia without outside help. They hunt and gather their food. The Sentinelese are skilled hunters and gatherers, relying on the rich resources of their island. They use bows and arrows to hunt game and gather fruits, nuts, and other edible plants from the forest. The forest and the ocean give them everything they need. The surrounding waters are teeming with fish, which they catch using traditional methods. Their deep knowledge of the land and sea allows them to live sustainably, taking only what they need to survive. They know their environment really well, because they've lived there for so long, carefully balancing their lives with nature. This intimate understanding of their ecosystem has enabled them to thrive in isolation. Their way of life is a testament to human resilience and adaptability, showing us that it is possible to live in harmony with nature, even in the modern world. We don't know much about how the Sentinelese live. Their way of life remains one of the greatest mysteries of our time. What we do know comes from quick looks during rare visits and pictures taken from airplanes. These glimpses are fleeting, often captured from a distance, and they leave us with more questions than answers. They live in small, simple shelters, made of things they find in nature. These shelters are crafted from leaves, branches, and other natural materials, providing them with protection from the elements. Their tools and weapons are basic, but they work well. These tools, though primitive, are a testament to their ingenuity and ability to adapt to their environment. They are made of wood, bone, and stone. Each tool is carefully crafted to serve a specific purpose, whether it's for hunting, building, or daily tasks. They talk to each other in a language that is completely their own. This unique language is a vital part of their identity and culture. No one else understands it. The language barrier has made it difficult for outsiders to communicate with them or learn more about their way of life. They are very good at hunting and gathering. Their skills in these areas are essential for their survival, allowing them to thrive in their isolated environment. They eat fish, shellfish, wild plants, honey, and maybe small animals. Their diet is diverse and rich in nutrients, sourced directly from their surroundings. Living alone has created a special culture that is probably full of traditions, rituals, and knowledge passed down through many generations. These cultural practices are likely deeply rooted in their history and play a crucial role in their community life. The elders teach the younger generation the skills and knowledge they need to survive. This passing down of wisdom ensures that their way of life continues. Craftsmanship is an important part of their daily life. They spend time making and repairing tools, which are essential for their survival. Celebrations and rituals are likely a significant part of their culture. These events bring the community together and reinforce their shared identity. The Sentinelese live in harmony with nature, respecting the land and its resources. Their way of life is a reminder of the deep connection between humans and the natural world. The Sentinelese have always fought hard to stay alone. When British people tried to visit long ago, the Sentinelese were not friendly. They made it very clear they wanted to be left alone. Later, in the late 1900s, the Indian government decided to mostly leave them alone. This respected the Sentinelese's right to choose how they live. Sometimes people would visit from far away to watch them and leave gifts. But even then, the Sentinelese would often get angry, showing they really wanted to be left alone. In 2004, a giant wave called a tsunami hit many places around the Indian Ocean. This showed how strong the Sentinelese are. The tsunami destroyed lots of things, but the Sentinelese survived. People think they knew the tsunami was coming and moved to higher ground before the wave hit. This showed how well they know their environment and how good they are at surviving natural disasters. It also showed why it's important to leave them alone. They survived because of what they knew themselves. The Sentinelese create a tough question. What is the right thing to do? They are vulnerable because they could easily get sick from diseases they haven't been exposed to. Visiting them could be very dangerous for them. But they have shown they don't want visitors. The Indian government understands this and has made a rule that no one can go within 3 miles of the island. This rule protects both the Sentinelese and anyone who might try to visit. The choice to stay alone is theirs and theirs alone. The Sentinelese control their own future. They show us how different human cultures can be and how strong people can be. Their story reminds us that there are still places where people live the way they want. It's our job to respect their choice and make sure they continue to survive. Their story teaches us to be humble. It reminds us that we don't know everything. There are still mysteries in the world. The Sentinels, by staying alone, hold on to those mysteries. We must let them be. North Sentinel Island is a place of mystery and a symbol of human strength. It reminds us that there are still cultures untouched by the modern world. The Sentinelese, in their isolation, make us rethink what it means to be human. Their story asks us to be respectful, to understand and to protect different cultures. As long as they choose to stay alone, North Sentinel Island will remain a mystery. It will be a symbol of the unknown and a reminder to respect the choices of others. Their future, just like their past, is for them to decide. We must allow that to be.